Okay. So back to talking about issues from the other video I uploaded today. Let's talk about family. Because I know everyone has a great relationship with them, don't they? Now, I don't have a great relationship with my family, some of them. I have a good one, but there's some others who I don't. And there's an interesting social phenomenon in which we are obligated to have a good relationship with our family. We are obligated to work things out with them. Now, I mean, there are some situations, sure, but like, say you were abused by a family member for a lot of your life and they have done nothing to amend for it. You have no reason to keep them in your life. Or say someone's just an asshole, or they're just, someone who's really not pleasant to be around. You do not have an obligation. You should not, society says you do, but you should not have an obligation to keep them in your life if they're really making it worse and not adding to it. There's this weird, stupid idea that you are obligated to be loyal to your family and all this other stuff. And what I find even funnier about this whole thing is that people always throw the saying, well, blood is thicker than water. Wanna know what the actual full saying of that is? The blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. Meaning that, in covenant meaning a set of, like a relationship or a pact or something with people whom which you have no biological relation. So, because of the typical, slice the palm and shake your hands kind of thing. So the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb, meaning that the relationships you develop outside of your family are stronger than that of which you automatically have with your family. Because people think that if you have a biological relation to someone, you automatically have to be BFFs with them. You automatically will get along with them, and then when you don't, it's like, oh, well, families, they don't get along sometimes, but you still love them. But that same ideology can be dangerous because, what happened to me growing up, my brother was significantly larger than me, stronger than me, and angrier than me. And he was physically abusing me for years. And by that, I mean, like, he's knocked me unconscious, given me concussion sprains. He once broke a metal broomstick over my back. Like, shit like that. Like, serious abuse. But it was just siblings not getting along, or siblings fighting, sibling rivalry. It wasn't taken seriously, and nothing was done about it for years. It wasn't until my mom started dating a social worker, and my brother got caught in the act of doing it by said social worker, that anything was done about it. And this had been happening for about 10 had been happening for 10 years. So, even when I was about 15, my brother had he got really angry when my parents split up when I was about 5, to the point where he'd be pinning me to the ground, choking me, and shit like that. But thing is that we're brother and sister, so we're obligated to have a relationship, and we weren't. And any sort of squabble or whatever that we would have would just be seen as siblings, or, family doesn't get along all the time, but you still love them, kind of shit. And he has yet to amend for any of this. If ever it's brought up, it's like, well, you would just make me so angry, and it would be my fault all of a sudden. That's a textbook case of abuse. Blaming, and I used to blame myself all the time for this shit. Now that I'm going through therapy and they're saying, no, that's not okay that he was doing that, and the fact it was only brought up, it wasn't even me it was brought up by the fact that I never feel safe, and that I'm always afraid and trying to hide and everything else. And they're like, well, did you experience any sort of physical abuse? I'm like, well, my brother used to, push me around, and and then he kind of coaxed it out of me when I was talking about it in therapy. So, it's this automatic, I hate the whole idea. You could just basically, if someone is in your life who is related to you, is treating you like shit, and you're like, what should I do? Should I just get them out of my life for a while? It's like, think about it. If they had any other kind of relationship with you, would you be giving them the same slack, or giving them the same, forgiveness or allowance? If they were a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a friend, a teacher, a classmate, a roommate, would you take it from them? The answer is no. Then you don't have to take it from them just because they're your family. Everyone, we're just human beings. We can hurt people. We can help people. And in addition to this whole, having this automatic strong relationship with your family, the kind of relationship you can have with people you're not related to tends to be belittled unless it's romantic. You can have a relationship with a friend that is stronger than any other relationship in your life, but to everyone else, you guys are just friends. It's not seen as any stronger than that. You could have no relationship with your mother, yet your mother's role in your life will seem more important to people than that best friend who has helped you through all that more than anything, has always been there for you and all this other crap. And chosen families tend to be belittled. Like, what? No, that's just stupid, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? But these people, these chosen families, the people in their chosen families are there for them. They play every role that families are supposed to play, but there's no biological relation, so they're not deemed as important or whatever else. And I think it's stupid, and it's something that needs to change. Because you get people who are stuck in toxic relationships because society tells them that they have to work it out because they share some DNA. Thanks for listening.